Hey, welcome back to Clean Cut, where we can talk about the truth about just about anything, long as we use logic and common sense.
This season, we're looking at the miracles of Jesus to see what they can tell us about God and his promises to the faithful. Last time, we talked about the healing of the possessed, how Jesus can get rid of any evil spirits that may be trying to influence your decisions. Today, raising the dead. This is something Jesus did a few times, so let's take a look.
And when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, a dead man was carried out, the only son of his mother, and she was a widow. And a great multitude of the city was with her. Whom, when the Lord had seen, being moved with mercy towards her, he said to her, Weep not. And he came near and touched the bier, and they that carried it stood still. And he said, Young man, I say to thee, arise. And he that was dead sat up, and began to speak, and he gave him to his mother.
Luke 7:12-15. This is the first example. Jesus brings back a dead man by speaking to him while touching the stand he was resting on. He also does this when others are just about to go out and bury him, and he seems to do it without being directly asked to. He does this out of mercy for the man's mother.
And behold, there came a man whose name was Jairus, and he was a ruler of the synagogue, and he fell down at the feet of Jesus, beseeching him that he would come into his house, for he had an only daughter, almost 12 years old, and she was dying.
Luke 8:41-42a. Here, Jesus is asked directly for help, not to bring someone back to life, but to cure a sick person. He goes with Jairus to cure his daughter.
As he was yet speaking, there cometh one to the ruler of the synagogue, saying to him, Thy daughter is dead, trouble him not. And Jesus, hearing this word, answered the father of the maid, Fear not, believe only, and she shall be safe.
Luke 8:49-50. Everyone involved in this situation seems convinced that although Jesus can cure sicknesses and injuries, both mental and physical, and cast out demons, that he can't do anything to help a person who's died. Only Jesus knows differently, and he reassures Jairus as they travel.
And when he was come to the house, he suffered not any man to go in with him, but Peter and James and John, and the father and mother of the maiden. And all wept and mourned for her. But he said, Weep not, the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn, knowing that she was dead.
Luke 8:51-53. The other people at the house also don't believe Jesus when he contradicts them.
But he, taking her by the hand, cried out, saying, Maid, arise. And her spirit returned, and she arose immediately, and he bid them give her to eat.
Luke 8:54-55. Once again, Jesus raises the dead girl with some words and a touch, and once again he does so without having been asked to raise the dead. He has other witnesses to this miracle: Peter, James, John, and the family of Jairus.
When he had said these things, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And presently he that had been dead came forth, bound feet and hands with winding bands, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus said to them, Loose him, and let him go.
John 11:43-44. Again, Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead by speaking to him, this time calling out in a loud voice, and again, no one requested this, despite the fact that Jesus had already explained what he would do to his disciples who went with him, and despite the fact that he explained what would happen to Martha and Mary, sisters of Lazarus, to encourage their faith in him. No one actually requested that Jesus bring back this dead man. This is probably, at least partly, because it was so unprecedented to bring back a person who'd been dead for more than 3 days. Seemingly dead people could sometimes be revived after a short time. This still happens today. But it would have been hard to even imagine reanimating a corpse just like that, even in spite of all the miracles that Jesus had done already. In fact, no one ever asks Jesus to bring back the dead in any of the Gospels, and it's the one miracle where he encourages faith, then performs the miracle, rather than performing the miracle after seeing the faith of the person requesting it. After all, Jesus knows how hard this is to believe that death, the scourge of all mortals, could be cured like any other disease. It's incredible, though what's even more incredible is that this victory over death is not the one that Jesus would be most known for later, but we'll cover the resurrection in a different video. For now, it's enough to say that by raising the dead on multiple occasions, Jesus shows that the power of death over his faithful either doesn't exist or is inferior to his own. The idea of an end to death by itself represents the unlocking of a whole new kind of freedom, especially for the faithful in heaven, with implications that are difficult to even imagine. Next time, the Transfiguration.
That's all for now, so keep asking questions, and thanks for watching.